Welcome back to Digital Paul Workshop for another Time-Lapse Thursday where I speed up the project I worked on and kind of tell you what I did with a few little rabbit trails. Today we'll be going over some of the additions I made to my avatar, the tail, the visor, and the gauntlets. So without any further ado, let's log on in. And so I actually had to go back and use my older blender for this because I think for some reason the newer one I'm using, the add-ons doesn't seem to be want to work. And I haven't checked yet to see if there's any update with the add-on so I can get it. So I'm still having to use my old blender. But I had to just import my VRM model, and this was kind of fun trying to actually create this visor because I really had no plan other than I was kind of loosely basing it off how the Dragon Ball Z visors looked at Frieza and Vegeta First War when they were in there, and occasionally kept bringing those back. And so trying to figure out how to go around the ear, make that curve. Now of course I did have to hide my hair so I can see what to do. Now as you can tell based on my look, it's not quite 1%. I didn't add no collision physics or anything yet. Probably should have. And that might come in the future when I actually learn a little bit more about that. But sitting here trying to get everything to line up kind of nicely. It was a bit of a challenge. And what was really the challenge was trying to get this visor glass to look right. As you can see here. Now, one of the things is I was trying to give it this sci-fi look a bit too. So that's part of the reason why I did some of the stuff I did. Yeah, I didn't realize how this mess I'm using has got a lot of flip vertices for some reason. Now here I'm going to add the bevel because for some reason a lot of sci-fi stuff doesn't really have hard edges. They always have that little bevel look. Although you really can't tell too much with mine, or I might have to zoom in somehow on the bigger screen. Oh yeah, and this was right here was just trying to figure out how to actually get some of the beveling in. I had to do a lot of stuff on this individual, especially right around the ear. That way we wouldn't have no hard or sharp edges. Yeah, I try to get as much of these corners down and curved a bit, or at least sloped. Now let's see what else. Oh yeah, now this is oh yeah, I was trying to add this. If you can take a look here, I don't know if you can, well, you can see it on the side. I got the little light show, little light, and so I was trying here, had fun trying to create this. I'm trying to remember, did I actually have to do this a couple times, trying to get this to work right? I think I couldn't get something to work right once before, and so I had to redo everything, or I just started over and redo it. Because for some reason you do something once, it works great, but when you go back and do something again and it don't work great, you're trying to figure out, okay, what's different this time? What did I miss? And especially when I went to do the bones, for some reason it didn't show up like it did when I originally did my original video, and so I had to select them in a certain way. And so I may actually go and redo all that, where you import this in the blender and how to make it. Now this was, I was trying to create, you can kind of look and see I have this little green glow around my eye. I was trying to create one of those little like computer display readout things that you see in some sci-fi movies. Yeah, and so I'm trying to work at things at an angle. And this was before I learned how to actually and I don't remember, I have to go look at my old video on how that, my tips of Blender, and how to actually, when you got an angle, something at an angle, how to press what key to tell it to look straight on. Yeah, there's the, yeah, I'm trying to get all these lights now. I don't know if I decided at first that I wanted it blue and then changed it to green, or was this just something else? Oh yeah, going in there and trying to get everything right. Because I only wanted the most inner surface glowing. I didn't want the edges glowing. Yeah, try to create now. When I first went in and did this, I used the technique that what the that's one reason I think I used the old one, because the new one I did the alpha blend. Well, I can't tell which. Does it say which version I'm using? Can't really say for sure. But yeah, trying to sit here and create this stuff, and there is the glass that I like to look when I look in Blender, but for some reason I imported over into my VRM. It didn't work. I actually had to go eventually and go through a couple different versions of the glass techniques, and I think it was the very first one I did in my glass video that worked. Oh yeah, I think this is when I was trying to connect it to the bone, and for some reason my bones were not showing up in the thing, so I had to create it. And boy, it didn't, I don't know if it didn't work or something didn't take, and I had to keep going back, and finally I got it to work. Yeah, adding all the weights. Yeah, see, it wasn't for some reason connecting. And in the original videos I looked at, and the original one I didn't have this issue. So it took me a while to try to figure out how to get the bones and it to be weighted and connected to the bone. And you see right there, you can tell I don't have my blue. It's not it's showing it as gray and not blue. And so I actually had to work. Yeah, see the bone is right there. The bone's working fine. Oh yeah, they had to go back and redo the way. Like I said, I don't know why or how or what caused it to do this way. But I had to weight map everything. And now to get everything to work right. And so yeah, I think I finally got it. It took me a while to finally get it to work. Oh yeah, here's when I get it to tell. Now the mistake I made is making. I used the. I drew a curve line, and I was trying to actually do a couple of things, and this is before I knew about the solidify and a couple other tools. And so I just created a couple discs to go along, and then use the bridge tool. Now, if I was going, while I'm ready to do the tail, I need to remember not to do it this way. I mean, it's great to do it this way if I want to get the actual length of the tail, but have it go straight out first, especially before I do the bones and stuff. That way, everything kind of will work fine. And yeah, I use the bridge tool with a little bit of a curve in it. Like I said, next time I'll just make it one straight line, and then add the bones, and then use the bones to curve it the way I want it. Now, if I didn't do just all the bones, I only just did the base, I probably would swing a lot more as I move around. Oh yeah, as far as the tip, I just used the half of a circle. It was the easiest way I could think of at the time. And of course, trying to merge. And this is before I knew of the other type of ways to merge. Oh, and that's something. I cannot figure out the node structure for these VR models from VTuber Studios, because I was trying to color the tail to be like the hair, and the node and the way the node structure is set up, I have no clue. So if anybody knows how to actually use the nodes with VRM in Blender, please put the thing in a comment of a video or someplace where I can go, so I can try to get everything to look. Because if you look, you can kind of tell my tail is a little darker than what I want it to be. I want it to be kind of as bright as my hair. Yeah, sitting here, I was able this time. I think I kind of actually finally learned how to do the bone structure or something. Now, yeah, there we go. Got the tail. Now, yeah, okay. Now I'm adding in the lights, the little lights you got on the side of my visor. Because after all, sci-fi, you got to have those neon lights. At least if you're going cyberpunk, but I still think sci-fi. A lot of it usually has a neon. Now, of course, for some reason, I think, yeah, trying to get my lighting in correctly. I might have used the green just to make sure to see what I was doing. Yeah, here's when I was going in. I think I tried a couple of the different glass techniques and trying to get it to do like I wanted to do. And it just did not want to work that way. And so, like I said, I think I ended up having to go with the very first method on my glass tutorial to actually get it to work, at least to this level now. I was checking the weights and stuff, make sure. I think, yeah, was this another method I was trying to do? Yeah, this ain't the first one. This was another one. Like I said, I went through all 4 of the methods trying to find it. I mean, I like it. I mean, when my eyes came through now, if I get too far this way, you don't see nothing now. And that might be just because of the lighting of VC Face. And this was this the first method? Yeah, this is the first method, I think. It's what I had to use, or one of the methods at least. And just, there we go. Had to sit there and play around with the features to finally get everything to where it needed to be. Because I wanted it to be like a piece of blue glass, blue plastics, transparent. And I wanted of course, the little, I don't know what you call it, scope or measure thing. I wanted it to be green. Now here I'm working on my Techno arm gauntlet. So basically just create a cylinder and then you reduce it down in size. Now I'll end up having to go back to the top. But I think, what did I use the bridge, stick bridge to the inside? I can't remember. I'll see here in a moment. But right now I'm trying to get the, again, try to get rid of the hard edges, get it closer to being more, a little bit more smoother. You're definitely around the wrist and arm. You don't want no hard edges. Trying to see. I don't think I've done the connection yet. Yeah, here I'm having to actually adjust the size for the width of the wrist. Now I decided I wanted to create little control panels for each one, where I has like a little old LCD screen maybe with a few buttons. I know it's not a lot of buttons to do things on. And of course, did the different extrudes. I think I did first. I did the different sizes, then the extrude, and of course give a little bit more detail. So I went in and I decided to add a little bit of gray bands and kind of reduce them down. Yeah, to make sure my I think it was my origin point. I had to make sure it was in the right place, so I could duplicate and mirror it where it be in the base, the right place, and then connect them to the forearm bones. I have to go through and clean all of them out. I still need to learn how to do that a little bit better, and maybe about time when I go redo how to import and add stuff to your VRM model. When I redo that video, I will learn a little bit more about some of that stuff. Yeah, make sure all of them is weighted. Let's see. Yeah, I think right here I was want to make sure this was before I actually got into doing the body motion tracking. So I was very limited. So I limited on how I could test these to see how it works. And that is just a semi-quick way of showing you how I added these elements to my Vroid model in Blender. And as I learn Blender and get better at it, I'm planning on adding some more stuff as soon as I can figure out what I want to add or how I want things to look. And so please stick around to see some of that stuff, as well as some of my tutorials on Blender. And if you want to help support me to get to this point, you can go to these websites right here to support me in different ways. They're also in the description. Plus, like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you think might find it interesting. And if you are kind of still interested in wanting to know how to add the stuff to your Vroid model, and at least gets you started anyway, check out my video on Blender tutorial rigging accessories for VC Face. And that should help get you started, along with the previous video before that on how to import it into Blender. And until next time, have a nice day.